Enti abejafo atras. Mami abejafo akwaba. Alaji. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Bibiabo ko de.
Awurade adawro ma me fi se megina wa fidie so bosume ba ko pania me ma muse me honam aye me yi kakra. Na wo mo frɛ me omo bompa ye ma me wish me say speedy recovery station hakra Dominic no mo frɛ no mo fan how I'm faring. Enti na nyame adawro ma na alaji wo ma ya feel Adom FM ya feel station we nyame adawro ma ya ba bela
ya da nyame ase
nti me da wo mo na o mu bisa about me ni na da obi ase
ya da nyame ase lawyer Apomoko
nyame adom so
na nyame adom no ho ye pa good to see you
severe
ya da nyame ase doc
Obanyi
Martin
ye nua CJ
awon wo ho de
nyankopon adom ode ache de mse eda Jana Daroma na ebechia watiefu nyina na echia Ghana fu nyina nso anope.
Doc, why was there this need to organize our press media engagement Dr. Baumia organizing, especially after manifesto launch? Ne binumo can say as a manifesto no launch no anshada anko ye Ghana fu anshada ante mon semana si ye papa internet se mo sense e friends em trefo ko she baby na mo sheda kasa chrimwa sana Ghana for what was the motive behind enrani amoye
CJ me da say emi say so obekaya ye nuanu ndc for na sebi omo manifesto mpo munya me Ghana di emfa omo policy statement em ma Ghana for no omo flag bearer ye Nsem for nshia na meboa meanwhile there is no policy document available so a document we no engage you and central send you more no person or the two wedding omanim na dear me say nyame adaroma last week Sunday Sunday back way and launch a manifesto successfully takra there from there let me say say offer the media waves in Ghana there no idea na obia eka ehwansem na yemu bia na ye say yen na yenye oma kasa ama eye manifesto na launch no so yeso ye gu so me say wafidi so me ba so ye be kasa ye yade but say de bia me ka ha say nsem trade juma no te say na ye ka no it's more or less the fourth arm of government and as a governance in general intino nsem trade juma no eye adwumaku anase ye nipa bia untumi ntoto omo ajeje mu fri say opese ensem no Ghana fo dodo na eti ase ya me de maba betena akasa to say da no pay wa ma me akonya maba betena akasa but adwuma ne dodo ne de aka ne nyina ne nkomo a mobedi ne ade omo send text messages sa engagement ne nyina no ejina ensem trofo so into na ehu behia say was set on Mampenny, Omampenya be the tree hour, no answer Franca to form the new patriotic party. No, na who be here as a any D no, Americano or the man and some trophy. Na and yet any D no poke. Na to me a use sa platform no sono, etuma and some trophy et and no baby see every or one casanum. If we say, Osha document na a vision statement. We had me February 7th, a year. Ni speech okoma UPSC na eho eno na ye fapem for the manifesto dodo na so okotiti Ghana fo ano de omo so ekan na say dodo na so ekohye ono an vision owo ma Ghana ni mu ti na ehu behia se obese simu kena na mo nsem trofo se ba se ye ni nkita ho mo na mo de asem no ebekọ na makama Ghana fo atibi no ye nka se mo koye spokespersons or agents for the new patriotic party dabi na emo no se obi ka bibia momo dia ne say the broni be kan say misinformation ni disinformation no momo be hwese saa de no ebe den ebe fi ho nto hwa say ensam traduma no you exist to what entertain you also exist to what to inform anameboa the information aspect no very critical say e was say mutumi enya the right information ni send sebi to send that question ne e kona clearly na ɛkyerɛ so nsɛm no bebree wɔ hɔ a na ɛyɛ nsɛmtwerɛfoɔ ankasa no na mo anya nteaseɛ yie firi sɛ ɛno da wobɛkae a biribi te sɛ ɛyɛ duty free asɛm sɛ me ade na menni hɔ na menam kwan so na mefiri Kumase ba Accra but me follow kakra anya koraa no mehu mete nsɛmtwerɛfoɔ bia mmienu anaa mmiɛnsa out of nipa a ɔmunya akɔnya kɔ bisa question a ɔmu nyinaa bisa question na ɛfa duty free no ho na dodoɔ na mi sɛ perception na ɛhɔ ne so Togo duty free kyɛ sɛ and ebia me de I am not preempting but sɛnea mehu sɛnea nsɛm bisa no kɔɔyɛ no na ɛntiasɛ no so Togo yɛ ɔman bi a ɛyɛ lomi port no sɛ wokra ne ɔmɛfra ma no ne sɛ ɛbɛfa hɔ a wontua kapre because they say a duty free but I know that no Obampenyi me yet from onwa from the horse's own mouth me yet so enya no cresa in fact send or kind no me say man so we fact checking we be to me check if you say Togo say no me my example be a say omo new category be a friend say essentials Ghana ha kra was san you mani bi wa name say yen sha da mo hu de room Ghana for ntin be free say ni bi wa omo essentials to say medication ne new manu bi a critical no Togo abana na ayen hye so san you mani de wo de back Togo untua eto ebia so and I said the friend said duty no untua na emu no VAT ni CIF no man can get bi no eno na obeyeden obetua but the ema omo de ne sronko efri Ghana de no ho ne say ofa yen Ghana bibi de say CJ memfa car asem and as a spare parts car in general because car na man for Ghana for do not attack ho asem pa say o cracker de fa lomi porter the rate of duty obetua no range from ohanchichemu enum ekosi ohanchichemu eduno 5 to 20% of the amount or the car no tiemfa na se bia o car no e bia $5,000 USD depending on omo se no obetumi atua between 5% which is the lowest and also 20% which is the highest as duty a percentage of $5,000 now or the car no and so we try the other taxes na e ka ho no to say VAT ni CIF no de akeka no emissions tax to say car no say be over age a china has but over age in china say you are exempted from it but oba yen Ghana porter enye enasem since we've been there yen there currently no ubetua a fixed rate of about 37%. That is as far as I know, unless it has been reviewed. That is ohanchichemu eduoson. Inti de nenye range impo. Ti ohanchichemu eduoson of the price a OCJ o de to o ka ne fra monane a odeba. Ansa na wo wia VAT, CIF, emissions ne sa no mani nyina no so ayeden abepi so. Inti wo wie no na sebi utwamu more than ebia 50 to 60% price a o de yeden o de to car no nti ya me da se nti ehwo example I mean ti ehwo ne no da no se bibi se no na ehu behia se papa na nkasa ono ene de adwene bae no otumi hia mo nsem trofo na okiremu na entiase eye adwuma.
Okay, but I say Dr. Frank Bano ena ote nenkano Adom 106.3 FM mattress American for e de akyerew latex foam yenim ni free ti opesa woda na osori after a hard day's work we ye adwuma bre na opesa woda na osori ahoden mu a latex foam na se woda so omsan so e won kunya wo ho latex foam kunya papa ya baby a de besiesie bia no bi obetra so bia hu say yes when e bie latex foam kunya no ebusu showrooms a e wo Ghana ha miamia bebre top papa preko latex foam your partner for life. Alaji mame embra honom na yenhwe memenda no the people's manifesto, jobs, prosperity and more. Yeah, mopa ho entoma memenda no before me answer na beba TV so no me hu na me monitor one of the TV stations we say ujina mu pa
now we can about fire in particular.
Yeah.
My fire service chairman during my time na 10 the beer hobia by under Professor Mills and John Draman Mama.
Yeah.
Abekan ne krokrama intina I was telling them say it really a regime.
Okay, but my member Hona yen share some of the key highlights a war manifesto and then we can go around and then do the second round. Honorable.
First and foremost, no ma minche atie4 ha nyina na menaga na for ase. Ne toso me no sa me ka che o se CJ time bia me ba station ana no patututu na na matiu no. We are where yes at your station.
Yes.
Na no pay onen crofo bi we interviews bi. Ba ko Franklin Kujo.
Yeah.
Na ubisa leading questions. Leading questions no ma correct answers. Me banya na me wusumi ti me say yes. What's no kura
alaji
wo na tade enye yi anasa nim sa no kura ba ko pe na ubisa no ne questions kura ubisa no a me ho twiri me wo say o say ba you be certain commissions ni committees ni inquiries ni akwe and one so asema no ka cho almost no PA ma so nyina say hey
I mean for all the scandals I'm
all the scandals was in nare hia hia pass e kom because nyama ni bi wo ho a edin say ubehu odwene wa onti ase enti ni ti a wanyina ni say na min charge ma min na central region for as a Winneba in particular. It was great. And was a time ya nipa da seni de woko wanim na wusua nti ye innovation after say Ulma Yankasa incoming president John Dramani Mahama inshallah obekasa ye ema the highlights no he decided say sectorial spokesperson nipa ba ko nyonkwa na say be obekasa kasa ye nyina trans ya boy tripo ya hu ne epese ye nti nkrofo nti wohwe ya various sectors ne okasa or governance ne okasa or health ne okasa or education ni nyina omo ba ebeye nti ne fapim nyina de eye ba ko pe ya trase ehu ene ehu se Ghana ne ama miensa na wosiye the Ghana that the NDC left to Akufo-Addo and Bawumia the economy bibia ejama omubia in 2016 the Ghana CCA Akufo-Addo ne Bawumia ediaba abesiene a Ghana for bre nkokra ne mrowa wo mu savings o maye haircut chese bibia inflation debt to GDC car ya bo edia mayen from 120 billion to 750 billion na niama bibre akoso nti wahu wonu awie no ansa na o cheye say going forward no ne ye beye nti ayade bia ya sheda bia na o kai say ansa na ye ba ko my main manifesto no say CJ o ka say University of Ghana Miami constituency ye ko bie the youth manifesto aspect ye ko yi youth no free the main manifesto no a part of it ne church ase because ye pe Ghana ye fapim nyina ye future nyina ye youth and ye nyina nso nim say NDC econo wo muja the youth unemployment no ewo 8.4% wa hamunchichemu enwotwe achiri 0.9 and then MPP for akukuru ade akwa hamunchichemu edunan achiri 0.9 nti ye nyina nim say youth unemployment no aba e ha adwen another bia CJ say we the same thing every day ubenya the same results and there I will be any makwara ya unu kra say they be the same thing now we are ubenya the same results and there is the need to change one problem no affect yen no one say problem pay fapim aya unemployment ye ni adwuma say one kasa statistical service na nsia utie ya 1.9 million youth wo munam wa chese wo munni hope kra munam adwuma ni wo training ni wo
adwuma ben na mode be ma emebunu no
oh masa I know they say doors bibre doors na ude nya abotre mame na memfa umfam drew employment sector na and CJ into me metna
of course
and to me feel say open serialize my to send here wo mo serialize say
yeah so sector by sector
exactly
yeah
I want to bet tiasie yi so o kasa odi nyina ebo ma begina how many minutes say sia na obo mani kire me into was 10 minutes time no
I know
me jai into no all what I'm saying is pam no twa no ni nyina ne say macho first what me identify problem no say problem no any second no say there be young identify problem ni e be ya yam break is a problem no ansa na yakoyanim no hu say adwuma wo say ubie na amanfo timi ye youth ni timi ya ne ho starting no wo pa adwuma ma omo no na wo mo nso omo ba wachi no wa set wo mo nse che we so omo nso ma beto the same problem mo there were a lot of jobs will be a technical, vocational, hospital near the but and there were a lot of unemployment. Identity and yeah, it is because of AB educational policy. No, ABI we are too much into political science at the University of Ghana. Minamiti Puza, the founder and the first president in 1980. Intino Minakora, Anamibwa. Intino, I was say, yeah, technical, vocational, and this is 30. Intino, Mjunams Debbie, Sir Technical Trade and Institution, Young Fanco Technical Universities, Nian uplifted. And no pahono, even school, no quarano, a teacher for a coach and quadanateno. I don't know, people teacher. They are good, but they are good at a time where we need any alternative. And to the young muscle from the training colleges, no crown, and free certificate, near Fanco graduates and a bayan quadranos on me. And all these things, account, yes, a 24-hour economy. 24-hour economy, and a youth setups. 24-hour economy, I are simple. 133. You can take just one sector, say, passport office. And I say, near Uncroft Tias, a cramo, a DVLA.
Yes.
Massa, passport office. I'm more for now, man, for us, 10. Yes, yapong, because Ghana, 8 hours. People are there. So why can't you, so long we say, Ejumana, we are man on, when money free, and now Matutum, and to a passport in Tam Krona, you are paying almost 1,000 Ghana cedis. And this is still like you, now man for your services now. Why do you want to limit an 8 hour? When the demand is there, I will bet him another 8 and then another 8. Send a buyer congestion, Emmaho, Ubia Beko, Benyajuma. That is one aspect. Me, Tambia, because I'm a farmer, I have a poultry section. Masa poultry. Oh, young cocoa, okay, a cocodako. A cocodako.
Yes.
I was Ashanti region. We went there, me was secondary school, 1972, 71. You call excursion. Masa, that time on no factory no, and cookon were turning them into millions. Near Omukumomo, near Tutu, near to Chanesre, Paki, near Unity, Unkoshianso Aeto, packaging, export, throughout the night, now they were working. Identity, GTMC, textiles, manufacturing. I call somebody tells us, Wabakaya, I call somebody tells us here why. GTMC, Name Prayer Jumaho, TTL, Nini Nara, GTP. They were doing 24 hours. And to say your student to cry now, Ponwa, Oba, Masa, Utiminya Bibi, a free BB vacation employment. No, Pekakra. This is what JDM is saying. Say, we must revisit it. Time where you started solving the problem from the basic, through educational system. As a now, what can we do? We must broaden their scope. We must get jobs for them. And that is what the 24-hour economy is about. But there is a whole youth on unemployment and employment schemes. Let me know. If you say we can talk about it at least your time for the next almost 3 months and send a coalition. And there's a pledge between JDM, and the youth of Ghana. Now we share the youth programs are yet to JDM, youth development, our person no boy, one person going to agree, small businesses, all this, and you can say youth for America. So him say JDM, under this program, we are opening the Women's Development Bank, specialized women bank, from the top to the down. And it's not only for marketing. I say market women. Dabi. Setups are seamstresses. Just to be able to employ more. And to the
okay.
Time we ain't me for mechanic. But what I can assure you say, Masa, Ajumano, bida. Yes, be koni enim ye record e jae.
Okay.
And then enim baby ye gina. Intiminia.
Alaji.
Ayebida.
Medase.
The nation builder.
Medase.
JDM.
Medase. Alaji Amadou Sorogo, former member of parliament for Madina constituency. Ena yete nenkano. Ebusuya se oye bebunu ena wutie mi a dwene wochina wahum gym retirement. Wadwene ho. Ayade ehu hia papa ne senti ena make for Old Mutual. retirement salary plan the achrewo emuye papa. It's the new order of retirement. Now you can retire on your own terms with a guaranteed monthly income for the rest of your life. Enti Shannon. So invest a lump sum into the old mutual retirement salary plan today and start receiving monthly income to enjoy the perfect retirement. Enti Nadia den kra enti Shannon. So which me afre old mutual. 050-453-4333. And also so www.oldmutual.com.gh. And also so which me a dial star 789 star 01 hash star 789 star 01 hash. Now if you are requesting a call obrapa ahotonkwa Old Mutual, do great things every day. Lawyer,
Yeah.
my member also say when near the happenings over the weekend, NDC Elanche one more manifesto, the People's Manifesto. But for you, your key highlights of manifesto no from the National Democratic Congress.
Timanfa kwenyanchia uti for menchia incoming honorable Alan John Kudu Chairman. Menchia Adom really first time like him. And I'm Kumase.
Oh, I see. I see. And over the weekend, I went for Kumase.
The weekend, I try some.
I see.
Over the weekend.
Good.
Now, menchia Miami offer. Friends, Alaji, we say, or the manifesto Nabana, or if you say Ghana, you were crossroads. Your crossroads now, I just said the people of Ghana, it may take you very critical decisions because a year in Noma the same way for a very long time, and as in clearly, I think say, you said another also to know. Pressure not concern me personally criticizing it, but I think say collectively as a people no I just say admit to say yeah no more in a manner am I yensa isi form now unsanka o mind ka unya independence ya who use that political power no o the build systems are ebema o mind no etumpo be ma citizens na kasa etima pursue more individual ambitions na o metimi nya more energy really until build a political system, but most importantly, build the economic structures. I think say what we fail to do is to use your political power to build the structures of your economy. In every election cycle, the same issues seem to crop up. And the structure of your economy, way, and so me come from 92. Every for 9 years, for 9 times. So this is a 9th time. You deliver manifestos. And really, my manifestos don't turn out to be a lot of promises are in the focus, and to deal with the critical issues with the structures of your economy. And to me, or mine, it me, I transformed for want of a better word. And so, history, Europe after Second World War, economy break it down, and manifesto on the build the economy, on the plan. What you call the Marshall Plan. So follow big economists now on the elections. I realize that right now they've moved from manifestos because essentially manifestos need a bunch of promises are really what to say as to whether they represent solutions to your problems. Nobody knows. Me say His Excellency Bami, I know because more affordably 80% of manifesto promises and so say okay say oh sure or because of one from power one you see so why is the economy not transformed? But then what for me the biggest manifesto promise was say you better transform the economy of Ghana and about say my one F and I say my free SHS as in with my one F to the extent say a bit more bring about the transformation. Now what was your commitment towards it? So yes, on my manifesto so she my a lot of promises. Me am a glance NDC for DM and I make a channel so say it was fairly organized. At least with some more economic cluster, more economy, debate about the economy, or debate about governance, even the economic crime, more trade. You understand? So it was fairly organized. But the crust of more promising say 24-hour economy. So and this time I say because I'm gonna say over the weekend, Bamia say MPP for I deliver 80% of our manifesto. No?
Yes.
To what end? Because offer the individual things are 1 day free SHS. We see now Nina was towards a certain goal. The goal being the transformation of the economy of Ghana. So if the economy of Ghana any transformed, if you do level our economy, no, it losing the credibility, then clearly no, and you about say what fulfill 80%. You understand? Because you say your politicians, they do a lot of things to represent things. There has no commitment because I just say no one can lead to a certain end, and that's why I mean my view is say you don't know and about manifesto. You don't about manifesto is about planning, it's about plan. Their plan and I will put it in place. Their solutions and I will put it in place are a bit leading to the ultimate transformation of the economy of Ghana. Young Kai say your constitution my objectives be for instance article 35, 36, 37 and all. Their plan are all the to honoma for instance a bit leading to the fulfillment of our ambitions under your constitution. Oh, into offer your great transformation plan is here. I see a focus. NDC for Mama see the focus a 24-hour economy, and Macau is ultimately no. You want an economy that is running all the time. I don't know why you want to have debates over friends saying. I think the debate should be about how to achieve that. Because plan. You see, achieve an enterprise economy. So to me. That's opportunity na say it mean implement programs are ultimate vision is say ubenya economy about the production and consumption of goods and services and the supply of money e 24 hours. That should be your target. And I really know only say every sector be wait me 24 hours. Yeah, I just say it has every sector be na 24 hours.
So I think that we should know which sectors and we say sectors are what are targeted say 124 hours.
As some about and because even offer the great transformational plan. Yeah, see you achieve an enterprise economy.
Yes.
And because enterprise economy say to me achieve your purpose now, it will lead to an economy that will run 24 hours.
Absolutely.
An economy where the production of goods and services, the consumption of goods and services, and the supply of money, can be done in 24 hours. Now, data makers say a plan. They say, "Omo drive economy about production and consumption." So, what economy in this basic way is largely a private sector, no. But by what rural or play, because we say, fire your constitution about economic. Friends and direction of your economy now, or lay down some principles. And one of the fundamental principles is in the creation of the right economic environment, for private sector, which is supposed to be the engine of growth, to thrive. Into be a kind of manifesto now or first of all. There are issues na DBA Emma Yentimin created the right environment. Emma businesses Yentimin grow because I call IMF 17 times. Yeah. You call IMF 17 times, and I'm watching you call IMF. MPP about being now do about being now your IMF still. If IMF from 2018, if IMF from 2018,
yeah.
And so the BIA can say on economy but at that time the economy was being managed really by the IMF. In the IMF, what they manage economy growth, but what they'll give you is that they'll give you the macroeconomic stability. Tama Yanka say take it over. Between 2019 and 2020, by 2020, the economy was downhill again because I debt to GDP ratio by 2020 was 78%. Yanka says, and this for call IMF no debt to GDP ratio in 2015 is 72%. So they be out to say governments not necessarily MPP NDC, but governments over the years because 17 times they acquire IMF. It means the role of government a play in the economy in terms of the fiscal policies, in terms of the monetary policies, because then also we need the right economic environment, private sector are thriving. How do I buy spending in Sika? How do they raise their money? And I buy interest rates. And you will say, what is buying a policy and direction towards the management of your interest rates? To share your GDP now, your economy, you say, FAPIM 4. First one here, the bankers are directly. That is in terms of the management of the macro economy. So then you're talking about things like how do we manage expenditure? How about spending in Sika? How do you optimize revenue? How do you lower taxes and duties? Because you said then they open private sector try. So then you are buying. You'll be making sure the cost of doing business it will lower. How do you manage to have a stable currency? How do you keep inflation low? How do you keep interest rates low and competitive? And how do you manage your debt such that it's sustainable? How do you, because then you say about creation of jobs, and we are factual. Even big economies like America, 60% of all jobs created in America are from the small and medium scale enterprise. Into your buying, said jobs are your focus. Creation of jobs are your focus. I just say what deliberate policies are. Obe build or SMEs na no build your man. Build your move one in terms of maximum structure. Because I need the right structure. I want to try it. Two, build your in terms of access to financing. Because you say regular banks no. So what buying when you saw power fiscal policy, monetary policy. My banks no. Incentives, deliberate incentives are, or as in there's no attraction to give funding to SME. Because Ghana, one of the biggest from the economy, an almost dead SME. We say, say one yes, SMEs will be because we are invisible to our buying because they cause be an informal sector. And more informal because we are buying unimomo. So how their structure system we are buying all the two in place to first of all even know them, and that two. Their institutional support and how they must SMEC in terms of how amongst build a more corporate governance structure no, and in terms of access to easy financing. In Osha, about your macroeconomy now, there's a full policy prescription on increasing financing for small and medium scale enterprises. You can say about building SMEs and in the 40 or proven track record of building enterprises. Then you can or buying macroeconomy in Ghana. You cannot talk about macroeconomy and not talk about cocoa reforms in the cocoa sector. Already last week, na cocoa ye issue or yemai. How Galamsey say cocoa? How we are losing confidence in Ghana's cocoa industry. To extent right now, we are struggling to get financing. Where is a very local? Friends and raise your funds in Yano. Because everyone say you're losing friends saying Vim error in international market. But already, even before that, no, what during the wisdom say who cocoa on farmers no, what about some kind of overtalk cocoa no, who in cities, in dollar. What is the wisdom in always going to raise foreign dollar denominated facility to come and buy cocoa tono? Cities.
Yeah, local currency.
What I say?
Yeah.
Not two. Or buying no or citizens no or prosperous. Or any source are buying, but citizens are prosperous.
Yeah.
Proper buying.
Only proper buying. Citizens prosperous. Because Ocean America say Reagan, yeah, that more Reagan. The Reagan buy no, he deliberate policy to create millionaires and billionaires in America. In America, air strong no. Yes, when you say cocoa no, before I come Nkrumah ebe regulate honom na buying kwasa buying kwasa ebetwa to cocoa no. Uko Kumasi so Kumasi very well.
Yeah.
Uko Edum Ashtown. Bantama Asafo. Sa story buildings na wo beautiful ni yan.
Yeah.
Cocoa farmers. Yeah. Was that now omo musika cocoa farmers no. So by now no their cocoa farmers in this to extent around they don't mind selling their cocoa farms to Galamsey. Who is just government? You must be talking about liberalizing cocoa sector no. And another issue. We are where say Ghana government are buying the balance sheets are cocoa for instance cocoa board for balance sheets no different from a buying balance sheet too. Cocoa board from one more handle or more say into your buying per se who created the right macro then you have a policy a plan to consolidate cocoa board for balance sheets to a buying to consolidate we say balance sheets no. Now in the case of the macroeconomy, no, in the right economic environment, you must do all that. And so, one of your key pillars, which is the management of the macroeconomy, no, side issues in that room.
Okay.
And now, all about banks, capital markets, because financing is the air that businesses breathe. Capital is the air that businesses breathe. In terms of creating the right economic environment, then you must also be thinking about how do you deepen capital markets and any financial intermediation. You must have a policy towards that. And I also know, at the end of the produce the quality of labor, no. The quality of labor.
Yeah.
Into your buying, also create the right environment, business environment. Then you must also have policies about improving labor productivity. That's one pillar. Then we deal with industrial transformation. we deal with a Greek revolution and we deal with tourism, real sectors. No? Oh, into your manifesto plans. Let me say my community NDC for what I'll give them is clearly no. Or more manifesto no, and it's a organized. Ya twegum rise or ye important no twegum
to say
me but at least a organized but me view ne say
yes
you go through some manifestos no and really mboa Ghana and I'm going to example say MPP for say almost fully 80% of the manifestos manifesto promises are ubetimi no through and they can prove to you say indeed Oma fulfilling.
In fact, that is where we are coming to.
I'm just going to give an example. I'm just trying to make it say so. Yeah, but say why? Because I'm no example. Say okay, so by 1D1F. Why not? Why 1D1F?
Yeah.
But 1D1F, what was his commitment to 1D1F? Almost 1D1F just 400 million. Clearly, won't mean transforming economy of Ghana when you just invest 400 million in 1D1F into why there. But why in such a way say better transform the economy of Ghana now because any butayeno the Dwaso Nsem transform the economy to send the why into put over fully 80%. But it's about doing something to represent something, and that is not what we need. What we need clearly a clear plan, and the focus of that plan to transform the economy of Ghana. And in particular, plan. I clear to us our commitment no to transform economy of Ghana no ura Alan John Koduchiman. My Ghana phone you tell me 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 offer kan time enough. Maybe you would like Riley no. Maybe a farmer economy yeah discuss macro economy. Ya far health never discuss it. Then maybe we educate Ghana from better. But like I'm saying no, our manifesto are beautiful. That's a nice promises. Ghana ya manifesto business for 8 years, 8 times. The 9th time ye transforming ye economy. Mama ya moving from manifesto and plan. My last example. So you say you be running lean government. I don't think that right now no. Obi might argue about the need for a lean government. John Mama say obi running lean government. Alan Chimante say obi running lean government.
Yeah.
But I'm also saying obi running lean government. A manifesto promise. But also because he had a plan, we just didn't stop there. We went ahead to tell you how we are going to consolidate ministries. No, I check Ghana for the clear ministries are you be having, and that is the difference between a manifesto and a plan. Because right now, a plan, you need to say you fulfill 80% of your manifesto plans. If suddenly I'm for 5 year great transformation plans, okay, say over combining finance, Ministry of Finance, and Ministry of Trade, over no own sir. The them can say, unlike manifesto, I say, oh, may 1D1F. But 1D1F, 400 million Ghana, and what time about 5 billion Akoma Napco. So even though we're fulfilling the manifesto promise, no, because one fulfilling to the extent that be solve some problem be you want no any commitment or yeah because of so you be to represent something
the end game
exactly because the key promise at 2016 they Ghana for that means no MPP mu you Ghana for say you be transforming the economy of Ghana so 1D1F and all the things you can individual promises no the end game was to transform the economy of Ghana.
Okay.
So that if the economy of Ghana is not transformed, they won't fulfill a manifesto.
All right. Me that's it, lawyer. Me that's it, pa lawyer.
Then forget the manifesto.
Okay. Me that's it. Doc. I think we will need to look at the 80% of the manifesto promises are much as fulfilling. I would want us to have that conversation.
But
because
let me say conversation because me starting
okay.
Maybe when me say menchia alaji ne me bra penyin me fa konye to na menchia me lawyer ne alaji so most there. Let me say maybe I me beton see me dey make say I will love it say in Keba national issues nke be an apolitical because ya ne apolitical na ye say ye can say me tie say NDC akasa o maka aka MPP asem but na can me person me start to angry but because of be aminu started discussion my mama just anger na me nko na kan anger me ko ne say ka me person ye nhwe what ye be Ghana for me someone be say what is the track record of the NDC when it comes to their flagship programs in their manifesto. In Tina Mpensenpensenmu example, business a wofa 2008, Mankasa Major Online. Now NDC, one of their slogans are almost toye. Stand up the late former President J.E. Mills. Or say, Prof. Mills promises airport for Central Region. That was in 2008. NDC BD 8 years. And happened. Again, the same 2008, 10th August 2008, Major Online. I say NDC to introduce once for life insurance premiums.
But Okasa ye ni maku say dia. Na say ene
make us obia flagship program and the manifesto mu.
Yeah.
The ban befa MPP 2008 na MPP. Mini lawyer to so no MPP ni. Ono abi tumi bail me out. Say 2008 na DN na MPP for number 1 flagship program no say to aba momombe ye. Mini ni ote wonim. Na free senior high school. In 2012 na free senior high school. In 2016 na say free senior high school. In 2017, MPP was sworn in. Free senior high school, you see, so I'm making a point, sir. We know the track record of the NDC. Say a bus, yes, NDC, say, CJ, because a flagship program, I want a manifesto.
Yes.
And these are in fact, in 2008, after NDC winning elections, ISA, University of Legon, a research be in 2010. Say, what were the things that inform Ghanaians more to about my NDC? And I'll challenge you, said, look for this report. Now, kind of Hanum say. More than 60% of the respondents across Ghana say, Adientia Momujina so true about my NDC party through Adia Mike NDC to introduce once for life insurance premiums. Fast forward NDC eba power. Omuyo no meka Ghana for say pamocho. And where the factors some mitina miko tu mankasa my journey and die. I'm not cool, and yet Dr. Bano, I'm not seeing it from my mind. So that is the track record of the party we called NDC. You Ghana for him. You know, the end of the day, you know, I feel by so when you see a copacho and you see a koyesi, yani a kind says once for life, ready. And to be a materializer. So this is the track record of the NDC when it comes as a political party. But I want to move away from there. I mean, the core aspect of the conversation up here. Na asemba kwa me de no my answer or question so ubisa you know. Now, many case me name or say I was seeing economic blueprint. I am part many ya train pa say I was seeing economic blueprint. Now, one of the reasons in Tia Ghana since independence ayabedri ha emi say yamambu no do be na kwese putogum hwegum no because ye ni the friend say economic blueprint political parties abakwa na say nyina yaba enemrim ye follow enti say ohwa de bia metwamfo nyi bi say ohwa 1992 constitution na I mean Dr. Bamia was spot on so said the 1992 constitution no na fundamentally no it was established for stability not growth because senya for stability and for growth question will be san hone say CJ adentina the electoral commission and what the powers are ni omo be kan when it comes to elections no and no political party bi abaye meboa won't be near the electoral commission say menye you can't go against the rules of the electoral commission of Ghana. I didn't hear because the 1992 constitution no amanesa to me no it is electoral commission kasi electoral commission between say on any rules in one compliant to disqualify na CJ meboa and they can disqualify you and my elections you see elections na unjinabi but say you see ka ye pe growth a buying institution and be growth the friend say National Development Planning Commission NDPC and so also a constitution now the NDPC no need the same powers as electoral commissioner on over here about to us sebi asumdue stability that is why we talk about the stability and this utie Dr. Baumia the manifesto launch or year and I know kwesi da back way twemuna o can he pay wa ha no mo tina mkasa asema me nua panyi lawyer can e medepa o can he pay wa ha o say I believe we can find broad contours of a national development plan for which we can find consensus, and I'm quoting him, in areas such as education, health, industrialization. Because you say you too pound, that means industrialization. And of course, I will support such a consensus consensus national development plan. Specifically, I will propose to amend Article 87 of the 19th Constitution as well as the NDPC Act 479 to mandate political party manifestos. Say the mini and kind of paper. Indeed, say eba asama mini kaya. Say in terms of say your Maya over the years, party manifestos and a development plan sort of na. Dr. Bomia can you pay wa? So no cry the only day NAS ya 12 man penny only day. Kobe make it just part of the constitution. Your best is him. Then National Development Planning Commission said the Electoral Commission Shamra cast man in a party for this, and no any about the party manifestos every volunteer. So always your party, that's a whole try about education. And to me, yet different from the National Development Planning Commission Akano. And was said what the idea no eco feed into the long-term plan. Into another wakawaha. Now, many a year blueprint as me. You see, economy beyond CJ. Ubetumi aka nhyehyeye fe nhyehyeye de in fact to say that make NDPC asemia ye betumi aka NDPC aman all the independence but revenue generation tax revenue tax revenue sa abana betumi agigi sika woni man mo say revenue generation no ewo forma CJ sa plans after making NDPC independent me giving them all these powers so tax revenue enya ade papa CJ sa nyuma we nyina be things on paper this otie Dr. Bami enoda ene nsema okan ye na o say ye pese ye sesa ye shebra and CJ and it's very instructive say make us ask me why say Ghana asoman ye recorded your first fiscal deficit in 1959 2 years just after independence mene ya ngome menu me so se ne CJ wo so ne ya ngo but alaji na medium ne awo alaji na me alaji senior man
ni ya wo me na da
nti alaji me tumi kana asem ba ye de ne nyira ne ya ngo ye no kre and your first fiscal deficit you're recording in 1959 you jim fa hu de free English abrofo nsam just 2 years. It is a share a tax regime. I wanna maybe 5 minutes ago. Some started 10 o'clock. Maybe I time. May I time myself back? 9 o'clock. Minia, yeah. So, a tax regime. I wanna say, usunya fiscal regimes and economic issues of Ghana. The whole pain in the economic literature say your tax regime may operate the same way a tax regime we inherited from our colonial masters since independence and shadanye and sakraye it is a washer says CJ wuti we adwuma multimedia but some say track automatically you identifiable into won to me kase won tuato na de oye adwuma so ma ban no bosom so no so identifiable to me kase won tuato but say many an ka say the chunk of the economy na your friend said the informal sector no yeah omodie ebato na omuntua bi enti da bia no say ni pay wo man mu nyina both the formal and informal sector no ye nyina yesi pe development ye nyina so enipa kakra ne todo mutua no eno ne yedi bo ye nyina ye ho den ebena CJ me time the why anya fair to because allergy a protesting into the my men come asem nwie CJ me tia say but allergy bo kasa che
no you spoke more than I
is he Dr. Bano me man I am ni mama pao me man tini nyina
CJ me man tougher enchira wono enti Dr. Baumia say to say me nyane kan
no tougher
yeah me tougher no asema me nyane kan in fact oba Ghana a small medium enterprises no omo contribution to a employment in 80% unlike the 60% in the US now or kind to Dr. Baumia so no there tax credit say boda businesses say enfie miensa say wo shase ya say eto amount bi ebia mu so say me nuane kan pepepe no say financing and April and I'm convinced that he has really read economic literature financing a problem to SMEs no and to me multinationals and competing with the commercial banks. And to say he will set up an SME banker. Okay. A solely dedicated sir or this Kabema a small medium enterprise. Now where any bit to me access economy.
But that's it. Dr. Frank Bano, but that's Papa Alaji.
Minuya. Metiase na mitie bano tiseni anansi sembia na free baby krobio anaseni na Baumia kano on redia wontio. I'm here to discuss about manifesto of the NDC but because of the work and mass I mean why me because go back and play Baumia na accuse John Draman Mama say, so why ideas are identina for 8 years only Professor Mills or why implement it now Professor Satam Crown na 4 years old because now Professor Mills that's all I call intino he wasn't the president and Baumia the same person with the Sutia Bamo when the vice president too when they say when the acting president de facto because or no bibia Kufuor the person piano no kwena Ghana for so na what is so and to catch Ghana for see nyina yentwen yamre yentwen se 3 months or se December ni se be wu a mo amaka no mu nko mo amaka no mu ntwen na sa me ba as Dr. Daumia me MPP abamba ni me MPP abanum and Kufuor do ne me implement ye no me and na me the head of the economic management team me na mama mo bre no mo nkosomre winim there was a question obi bisa no na me ti answer na mudwiri me obi bisa ne say the same you make adenti na wenum nyina no wo so wonye because no order so your vice winim we so be so answer ben no de mai CJ I think that you were there
yes
answer ben was it some ye ni nyina na yetimi ye ni nyina na me ba adiens na me be ba
I think on that he said on a lighter note
master I don't know about interpret am lighter and heavy
so
do this time what is a lighter note. What are you telling me? Unim lighter note so agra nkrofo kan mu dia be asem or see se problem amu kan me solve ni nyina asesi ya me ni Akufo Addo ho na se me be di president ni aka no me dem nya bia solve. Can you believe this, my brother? A vice president who wants to become a president. Oh, no, but
Alaji, is there any single president who's been able to solve all the problems, the challenges?
It is because it's what me ba me we. Near when you Akufo Addo ye no. Also about betwam. San Levis. When you Akufo Addo, one and the head of the economic management team. Taxation. We will have to see they are moving from
taxation to production.
But as when the number of taxes MPP bomb their account 22 different taxes. Near all so ma ba be biem ama ne koso so. Ama for
and I was VAT mbend then.
VAT a better couple. Unim so mobile no be boom.
How are you going to decouple that?
NHIS standing on its own.
Yes.
So apply VAT NHIS and on its own. Now say would the bomb would the name no bomb of 2.5 plus 2.5 now by 5%. Now apply VAT is bigger than say who standing individually or be a 2.5 than the VAT. That aside, just take flat rate or more cano. Ojunwa on tiasie VAT. There are so much that we want to do in terms of taxation. Baba tete taxes. So COVID tax. Me no tears this year. Bo COVID di so yam show. Anye ekura no womu general secretary na oni friend say. MB John. Sir John. At least a person can you refuse for kura wo. But ubo VAT I miss COVID we are show. How we say yare aba bedi yare wu ahayen. Enne me no wo kasai. Now we be see me that so the COVID abetos only Ghana amongst the 197 countries in the world. And omo kai said de bia yen kai. And as he can so wo munya ye. Woman you so have na kanu. No wa say me no nyina. And omo parliamentary candidate for San Lerugu. I guess one of the man 100,000 after the COVID money that was shared. I had 100,000. And they said John Ban was over investigating to find out exactly what the people are saying. What is the problem? What was it Baumiasi say? Any ne question na me be say any ne with all the brilliant ideas or the buyer no economy no be fire no. And enkonya no why? The dollar was how much? 4 cedis one ne our debt also about what mama never Sikanu waha yeba yen tolu rose no we don't need to take any loan to do a rose. This is from Baumia. Oba no mo be twa tolum. And now what is Baumia saying? Baumia se wo mo nkonkoji loan bia na incompetence. And Dama and now we be move alone no e ka yedi from 120 billion equal 758 billion. Baumia. Now so wonim wenum nyina Baumia ka won yedi 11 yaba. Baumia count and yet all the taxes and nearly the Ghana. You say ya pacho, ya ba junk status from B, ya ba junk. Obian payers him to the point they say Coco Cran just indicated loan. Ya see I'm farmer ye. And you know, don't sit here and present Baumia no animuni or one yinan wire and Akufo-Addo. He is hollow.
Oh, really?
Hollow. And yes, then he's being wicked. He's being selfish. Because even though he knows the solution, he decided to say, Minka, because maybe President Eddie, Tigana from Bewu. This is serious. For somebody who is a vice president for 8 years old, who is the head of the economic management team for 8 years, Ababa catch them in new CJ. Say, Nasa me solve problem, Nina me bois, Akufo-Addo, Nasa, what is over Ghana for Hutonwa, one better no more vote to a mammy. No more vote to a miss me ba problem in Yahina me ba better solve. It is unprecedented. Minty be that coming from a vice president. Bedroom baby, no ready prepared. Your business zongo question, no ready script or ready answer, prepared answer. Come on. I microphone me, remember some body senior journalists. Yes, they were not given accreditation. Almost they did everything. Whoa, can't buy a question of baby Sano. A vice president near me. They didn't even allow him.
That can never be true.
Well, they did. I can tell you after here. Masa, mpacho o kasa ni miedi. Some people kind of didn't trouble me.
But any journalists be ana ebit me. There are over 1,000 journalists.
Masa, say kasa 1,000 journalists
in Ghana.
Ya kasa 1. Oh, okay. Uji tu musadi ameti. I say you share ni mu. Ni a show na say utri ye no ya bra. Say utino achia. Say obe question.
Former President Mahama has held the same media engagement. So
let me tell you today, John Dramani Mahamas one. Any media man who wanted to go went
without invitation.
May say go and check it. Say
no.
There be Obia wo desire so person ko.
But invites were issued. Invites were issued to people. In fact, me calculate me call hono. Me call hono. Me no me jam invite. Me sign me check me invite no office.
CJ, who say? Who nyantiase? Na em wan say, who interject. What I'm saying is say senior journalism penny for. Me person me born we bia na I don't have the authority. My pia me the bema. They themselves tried it. All what I can say is that for now, no, it is obia sebe ni nemgu apasono when neighbor for papa. What I'm saying is say MPP wants to be relevant, but Baumia wants to be relevant because one more manifesto na fizzle out within 2 days. More number 10 na mubu boswa and I say hey, relevance be newo. Me say manifestos in general no ensure relevance. Na say wo manifesto what me I fulfill 80%. Na baby a Ghana drew dia any you was somebody po 80%. Na Ghana baby drew.
Medase. Alaji Sorogo medase papa. Lawyer.
Alaji Sorogo ya mo Alaji.
In fact,
I'm say medase Alaji Sorogo. Me call lawyer.
Clearly from
some can see.
Minya e kan sema in my view no. E say nya yet say we must build your economy. The one of the critical things to build your SME. I think
yes.
Pretty clear. Where we depart here, I don't think so per se building SME is necessarily about building SME bank. Because a bank as things stands now, you have the power right now to use a power of fiscal policy, and monetary policy to give incentives for the banks Ankasa to want to give monies to SME. Oko India or more because on a bank through bank or bank everyone saying in Ghana, Bank of Ghana. No more licenses, no more regulatory. But may you use that power to make it as a condition. So listen, Uber renew lines and I say in special now. You must necessarily show say a percentage of loan portfolio or dedicate SMEs. Beyond that, a bank may use what we call a loan guarantee scheme, a government loan guarantee scheme. What I say to unleash financing from banks to SMEs Indeed, me are convinced His Excellency Baumia, as in saying the meaning, adapt his commitment to SME because make his speech be friends saying
UPS yes
paragraph 65 and then the me read what I see. I mean from Ajumunka. Or say as vice president, I was asked by the president to assist in solving some of the problems that were inhibiting the transformation of Ghana's economy. My approach was to help formalize the economy through digitalization as stated in our 2016 manifesto. So your man is a tax way. Now, what is the state of the formalization of the economy of Ghana?
And that is what he keeps mentioning.
No.
Yesterday,
What I'm saying, or say, maybe, but it's so tax is no. Can you say, which man can say the economy of Ghana as of 2020? You formalize now. No, because or say yes, don't solve your problems.
Yes.
His approach was to use digitalization. Fair enough.
To formalize
say
the
why
economy.
number. Remember lawyer 208, 2028, not 10 number or whatever. Nayan Bisa who say has the economy of Ghana been formalized? Maybe so lawyer, how you do it?
Lawyer, there's a fundamental question. How do we formalize the economy?
Now, one, open say, so I mean, you call a great transformational planning. So, assuming say, oh no, you call friends and industrial pillar no. Now you share the bit about SME, so called page 27, 1.24. Who say, I just so create a system, a company, some was all come formalization, to walk about registration. Okay, from that, because I don't know how would who business on how would you so who your business how would well then I say only registered about you on tax only registered was okay about 10 numbers and things no let's say was okay formalization okay about former sector anymore to buy anymore so one you must be registered one okay about the key components of formalization one of the critical ones here you being registered in being in the system because some we allow we traders and system so people don't even know that they exist. Now what about who use incentives into share SME you conduct a comprehensive sector industrial analysis of all SMEs with a view of one documenting the number, type, nature, special distribution. 1, 2, facilitate access to affordable credit to SMEs through providing loan guarantee support. Now this is Uber guarantee loan guarantee support. Now I'm on the condition. Say answer Uber to access this idea we know for our company registration documents bra for our 10 number bra for in normal bra ebema bind bit me capture into your system because
and don't you think that digitalization Dr. Baumia
in spite of
forms the basis for putting up all these structures.
So team argument here nobody all dog Ghana bit me argue against digitalization. So me issue about digitalization because you said digitalization it enhances. I don't have an issue with digitalization. What I'm saying say and enough. So because then they know also why you start with digitalization. What is the state of formalization of businesses in Ghana now? Because one of the things that formalization in terms of being able to even optimizing revenue generation. Because optimizing revenue, not just you see formalization is part, but that's not what governments create a system. People will necessarily make money because I say about taxation, about income tax, or income tax, not on losses. Now I'm saying so share 124 now. One amount loan guarantee scheme. Amount enhancing access to other forms of financing for SMEs, including grant funding, venture capital, leasing and angel investments. Now the point is that I don't know where are they not incentive? Remember, are they not incentive? For one, because I'm not sure me business me register me ala. Now say meet me access to grant funding, meet me access to venture capital, meet me access to leasing, meet me access to angel investments. But before I can have access to that, I must be registered. I must have a TIN number. Okay. What I say now, I'm confident. Just 2 more points. I say facilitate access to fiscal infrastructure to support the development of SMEs, including but not limited to industrial size, access to utilities and retail market infrastructure. But because you has to say industrialization. Industrialization a part of a part of a supply chain, maybe a part of a supply chain. So supply chain will produce you, but then you must also sell, you must distribute. Now you say you be link. I say establish still last one I drop in me. You say establish an industrial subcontracting scheme that directly links SMEs to the supply chain of large scale enterprise through a structure. So always I don't know I'll say who should have incentive say who person will have access to all these facilities are I just say you're properly registered and when our digitalization with my hands say, don't you think that we can easily formalize a chunk of your informal sector now when you give them incentives?
Okay, all right. Lawyer, me that's it. Yes, so Alaji, my member honum. Yes, sorry, so we will just do. Member also. Alaji, 2 minutes.
Yeah, simple and straightforward. As my mechanic say no nyamin chade or ba boy yin aba. Hey, MPP for Oma Lanchi or Mo manifesto anameboa. Or Mo Beji Ghana and Yenin baby or Mo free. Yenin baby and the Ghana baby do. Go and read our 26 points. Yedi ato. Miss Sandia Moses here. Read me both a bridge and a 200-page one. Minim say unya kwine, but once a while we were kind. Go and read. We cannot come and sit here and talk for 15 minutes and be able to. But what I'm telling you is say we are the party. We have to reset Ghana. Baby, are you free? And Crawford way Baumia. And in an akufado, the Ghana bedroom and they na go form and Cochrane Mro will biara haircut. As some woman can't woman in my opposite. And you know, all what we are saying is say Ghana for it's not for nothing and will be a case JM Brabe save way. Great transformational plan. Alan Chamantin, he's been my friend. I've told you several times. One I was the chairman for trade, industry and tourism. They be a meet international trade centers. Meaning no Kasa as Ghanaians. We sit, we plan together. And I'm not bothered about that.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is a chrono, he was part of the loot. I wasn't that time. Messi was part of the loot. As to what they saw Lutu, there was a loot. And he was a member of that. No, was it an MPP guy?
I like to say, Doc.
CJ.
Doc here, sorry.
CJ me that say, you see, CJ here. Yeah, fat and you may be for granted or memory here. CJ, me na more flow.
Yeah,
for granted. What's that? CJ here. The basic. And I said the fundamental thing to formalize the economy is having a unique identification system, CJ. Me for example, CJ, South Africa na me try there, CJ. You can't go to South Africa and take any transaction. Say ubi bank account. Say opese uye bibi without having a unique identification. Now uye no free wa. The second most important thing, a unique housing addressing system. These two are very fundamental because eliminated the protocols if any risk. In this buying part of the world that one of the reasons in tier interest rate aside the monetary policy rate in Impono, interest rate was proper the risk factor. Inti UCJ metminum Ako Bank. But because ye nimu records in terms of your credit scoring, ne ye nim Dr. Bana credit scoring no, ye kay nyinebo mu ba akope. At an exorbitant rate because of this issue. Now, this is an issue and I persisted since 1957. And it only took an MPP government to implement what we call a national identification. So, CJ. And to see formalizing the economy, the basic aspect, the national identification system.
Okay.
CJ, if you want to first,
about those fair mommy.
Me
time now.
First, na your batina. You see, another doctor they turn it to tax identification number. Now more than 70% of Ghanaians is not.
But Martini and Shasia MPP, it's been there.
Oh, as soon as you make a 10 year, yeah. Me say, cut tax identification.
Yeah.
More than 70% of Ghanaians na omunibi before I ever.
That's true.
And it stands over 80%. So this is where I like it. Once I catch him, I should keep quiet. So me, I respected you and kept quiet. No. Also, you shout at me, but me so opinion to me. What can me come on to?
Doc, Patrick, if I'm call it.
Yeah. And you know, say you can identifying small businesses. These are the two things that we hear.
All right.
And Dr. Akase says here because he had this sign you go from we are now prepared to take off.
All right, that's it. Lawyer, yes, sorry. So now the manifestos now we are looking at all the issues that we can put together to make sure that the economy and I like the way our conversation maybe next week when we meet we can take a sector and before Monday I'll communicate with you this team one sector that we can spend time and
two so that we can be able to cover.
You see media like make manifestos
Yeah, formalize the economy.
Manifestos. Knife time. Manifesto. Professor. Maybe you met your first year for school fees. Oh, maybe. Let me say first year for. Say first year for academic user fee. Every say the member teacher forecast. Member teacher forecast. How would that help us in the transformation of the entire economy of Ghana? And that's what me feel say. For 8 times manifestos MBY. What I say? Omo in some way develop no. Omo for manifestos no develop here. Omo the plans they develop here. Mama yen shifted from manifestos no. What I say? Na yen ko plan. Na yen transforming your mind. But it's not plan. Promises. Promises.
Plan is also a promise.
Me time aso.
Example, me say
okay.